Hello everyone. So a longer video than usual here, but one which I think is very interesting and which I think you'll enjoy. Yesterday, some information classified reports were shared on Telegram about an incident on August the 7th this year, where a Russian Buyan-M corvette, the Vyshny Volochyok, collided with a Russian tanker. The Buyan-M was performing combat tasks in Temituk Bay as part of a group when it hit the tanker and sustained damage. The photos aren't high quality, but they do appear to show damage to the ship's hull, and the photos taken of the inner workings which also appear to be damaged. I'm going to go through this at the end of the video and see what is damaged here in more details, and I'm also going to have a look at the map on screen now in more detail later on to see what can happen. First of all though, I'm going to read through the reports in full. The translation may not be fully accurate, but it does give a general idea of what happened here. So let's go through page 1. Collision of a small missile ship, Vyshny Volochyok, of the 41st Brigade of the Crimean Naval Base, Nazan, on August 7th, 2025. Circumstances of the incident. The small frigate, Vyshny Volochyok, carried out missions in the Sea of Azov during the withdrawal of forces from enemy attack in the period from July 13 to July 29, 2025. From July 29 to August 5th, it replenished all types of supplies at Novorossiysk Naval Base. From August 5th to the 9th, it continued to carry out missions as part of the KUG in the Sea of Azov during the withdrawal of forces from enemy attack under the command of the Azov commander. In the period from 2350 on August 5th to 0120 on August 7th, the ships manoeuvred in the designated areas in the water area in the southeastern part of the Sea of Azov from the Kerch Strait to the Temryuk Lighthouse. At 0120 on August 7th, the Azov Naval Missile Commander transmitted unmanned danger signal to the small missile group KUG. The KUG ships' air defense, electronic warfare, and anti-aircraft defense crews were placed on Combat Alert Number 1. The objective monitoring equipment on the small missile group Vyshny Volochyok was not activated to document the events. At 3:12 a.m., the MR231 navigation radar on the Volochyok small missile ship detected a new surface target, the seagoing tanker Nazan, moored at RN454 at a range of 26.5 cable lengths, and classified it as stopping target. The commander, who was also the watch officer and watch radiometer of the navigation radar, didn't track this target. No target detection report was made to the ship's commander, and no target data was provided to the Electronic Data Display System, EDIS. Nazan weighed anchor and began moving on a general course of 110 degrees at a speed of 7 knots to the outer roadstead of the Temryuk seaport for anchoring. The small missile cruiser Vyshny Volochyok, passing 8.5 cables ahead of the tanker, turned on course 90 degrees to proceed to the designated manoeuvring area off Temryuk port, following the order of the commander of the control group. As a result of this manoeuvre, the tanker ended up in the blind spot of the missile cruiser and its navigation radar. At 3:34 a.m., following the order of the commander of the control group, the missile cruiser turned on a course 124 degrees to proceed along the coastline. The speed was 9 knots, and 2 of the 4 main engines were operating in violation of the orbits. So to summarise this first page, first it mentions that the ship carried out missions in the Sea of Azov during the withdrawal of forces in mid to late July. I take this to mean that these were originally in Novorossiysk, but because of Ukrainian marine drone attacks and the threat of them, this Buyan-M and other vessels were withdrew to the Sea of Azov where they would be safe. Then, on August the 7th, there was an unmanned danger signal sent to the fleet, so a UAV. During this attack, mistakes were made. Pick your blame, incompetence or copious amounts of vodka, meaning that Uncle Albert didn't track the nearby tanker the Nazan, which was initially stationary but then started to move. The tanker ended up in the radar's blind spot and the ships collided. Now, I'm going to read through page 2. This has a bunch of legal jargon and what have you about Russian maritime law and codes that Captain Cockwash violated here. I think there may be a page missing, as the original page doesn't actually mention the collision itself. Or it could just be that it didn't translate properly. So now let's check through the legal page. Reasons for the accident. Number 1. Failure of the ship's commander to perform his official duties in accordance with the requirements of Articles 126, 144, 145 of the Navy Code, various articles of the Navy Rules of Navigation, Rules 5, 7, 8 and 34 of the Coal Regs, 72 in the part concerning ensuring the safety of the ship's navigation, management of the navigation, and radio technical something and preventing collisions with vessels at sea. Reason number 2. Failure to perform his official duties in accordance with the requirements of Articles 517 and 521 of the Navy Code, Rules 8 and 34 of the Coal Regs by the ship's assistant commander in terms of managing the work of the, I don't think this translated very well, to ensure safety during navigation in formation. Reason number 3. Failure of the commander of the Radio, Technical and Communications Combat Unit to perform his official duties in accordance with the requirements of articles, and a lot of articles are listed here, so he clearly failed at his job. In the part concerning the organisation of surveillance and evaluation of his results, for continuous full knowledge of the situation and provision of information to the ship's watch officer. Number 4. Incompetent management of a tactical group and lack of organisation for safety of navigation of ships on part of the Chief of Staff of the unit, expressing the violation of various requirements here of the Tactical Manual of the Forces and Troops of the Navy. Number 5 reason, failure to fulfil his official duties to control the division's ships, ensure the safety of navigation during joint manoeuvring, failed to take measures to deploy the division's command posts at sea by the commander of a division of small missile ships. Reason number 6, unsatisfactory organisation of a ship's crew of the navigator when sailing near the shore. Reason 7, failure to perform his official duties in accordance with the requirements of Colregs by the master of the vessel, Nazan. So roughly translated from the legal nonsense to normal English, Captain Birdseye and his crew cocked up here. A drone approached, the captain panicked and failed to control his division of ships, leading to the Buyan-M colliding with a tanker. This report seems to pin the blame on the ship's commander, the radio technical and communications commander, the chief of staff of the unit, and the captain of the cargo vessel, the Nazan. So quite a few people cocked up here for this to happen. It was just a daisy chain of mistakes. And here we have a map of an incident. I've done my best to make sense of it, so I hope I've got it right. Point number 1 is where the Buyan-M was. You can see it heads west along the coast until it reaches point number 2. Here's where I assume the drone warning was sounded as the Buyan-M starts to change course and move in a different direction. Point number 3 is the Mazan, initially stationary until it started moving as well. According to the report, the movement of the tanker was not tracked by the crew of the Buyan-M, and from what I can tell, the commander of the Mazan, the captain of the Mazan, didn't notify the Buyan-M that it was moving. I assume the Mazan's captain also got wind of the oncoming drones and decided he would get out of Dodge as well. Point 4 is where the Buyan-M completed its turn and now starts heading east. Point number 5. Uncle Albert makes a decision to swing southeast now, putting it on a collision course with a tanker. Point 6. The Buyan-M crosses swords with the Mazan, but I don't think this is where they were hit. I think they just crossed paths. Point number 7. The Buyan-M does a very sharp turn north, looping back west. This looks like defensive manoeuvres to me here. I think this might be where the Ukrainian drone was attacking. Point 8 is where we seem to have the impact. There's an annotation which is too faint to read, but presumably it reads Blat. Both ship routes become a bit chaotic here after the collision, the Buyan-M heading north and then west, doing a tight turn at point number 9. Possibly here it was avoiding another Ukrainian drone. It then headed back east, cut south and then east again, following a route at point 10 parallel to the tanker. Here, maybe using the tanker to do a damage assessment or something like that, and likewise doing the same to the tanker. So that's how I think this incident played out, is how I'm reading this map anyway. Now going back to the photos of the damage, number 1 looks to be the interior, a shot of the roof, so the impact cracked some of the roof indoors and caused part of it to collapse. Number 2, I can't tell what this is. It's definitely inside the ship though, looks to be a bunch of crumpled and damaged machinery or venting ducts or something. Number 3, a drawing showing the damage. So we appear to have two gashes in the hull of the Buyan-M, one under the bridge and a little bit further down. Number 4, I'm not sure, presumably damage to inside stuff. I'm not sure if it's meant to show a fire or sparks from electronics going a bit doolally afterwards. Number 5, much of the photo is sadly cut off, but this appears to show damage to the vessel's hull. Now I'm sure some of you remember an incident in late August where a Buyan-M was hit by a drone, and could be this very same incident. That video, though, was shared on the 28th, a few weeks after this one. It is possibly the same incident, as Ukraine may have just sat on the video for a while before releasing it, or it could be two separate incidents. If two separate ones, then the drone strike here didn't seem to hit the ships and cause damage directly, but it caused Uncle Albert to crash into one of the tankers. And then, the one on the 28th, the drone hit the ship's radar and electronic warfare devices. Here's a photo of a Buyan-M, a small missile corvette which launches caliber missiles, so they are important ships. The Black Sea Fleet has 4 of them. The one which collided here, the Vyshny Volochyok, entered service in 2018. Given the damage here, this must need repairs, so is now out of action. Now if this was a different Buyan-M than the one in the 28th of August video, we could now be looking at 2 Buyan-Ms out of action. One thanks to a drone, one thanks to a Ukrainian drone combined with stupidity. This took place in the area here. So Temryuk Bay, the same place actually where the Ukrainian drone hit a Buyan-M. You can see this is north of the Kerch Bridge. So Russia moved some of its vessels here out of Novorossiysk to try and keep them safe. They may have kept them safe from Ukrainian marine drones, but we couldn't keep them safe from idiocy. So that's it for this video. Hope you found it interesting. If so, please click like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Now, I'm going to play a video from the Ukraine Volunteer Centre about the ongoing fundraiser that we're doing to buy 2 new vehicles for the Ukrainian Armed Forces. The donation links are in the description. Thanks very much and take care, everybody.
We have prepared these 10 Unicor coins to be raffled off among those who support our soldiers and donated more than $50. Friends, thanks to you, we have already been able to accomplish a great deal. Today we are announcing a new fundraising with the goal $19,000. Every donation you make saves lives. Every donation is a step towards our shared victory. And for those who donate more than $15, there is a chance to receive one of 10 commemorative coins. There will never be more coins like this in the circulation.